Playing the latest, not released version of Splatterhouse. I compiled it just earlier with the experimental Scorpion, so there may be some bugs that I still need to fix, but so far it seems pretty good. Up with a selection of games that would have been more suitable for a Halloween special. Just got this week I'll be playing this, then I'll be playing Castlevania AGA. We'll get stuck into more Halo Zero. Welcome to the chat. Unfortunately, I'm not actually playing this on. This is Mega Drive game, so I'm not playing it on the new AE. So I don't have volume mixer. Let's see if I can adjust the volume. Alright, hopefully that's better. It does look very good. This is an incredible project by Monster Bath Games. One of several arcade ports that they're working on. Getting this scene to perform well on Mega Drive was a bit of a challenge. There's so much that's going on. See all the different sprites and animations all at the same time. Is that me game over? Well, I guess that was me game over. I'll give it one more go. So this is not an official demo build. This is just built from the latest source and Scribbling Experimental, so there may be some issues. It did look like there was a missing game over screen. That could be my fault. Regarding that, the boss fight in level 2, the Mega Drive only has 64 kilobytes of video memory, so most of the time you're streaming assets from the cartridge into that video memory. The problem with level 2 is that there's, well, the boss where there was the moving cutlery and the moving portrait, is there's just so much that it was killing the frame rate having that all streaming into the cartridge. So we made it so that on a level by level basis you can determine, well, what stuff stays in memory. So that level 2 boss is basically a level in of itself, and everything that like all of those background animations, things like that, that's in the knives and the portrait, that is all stored in memory rather than stored in, rather than kept on the cartridge. Flubber was asking if the blood was always green. I believe it was. So this game is only for Mega Drive at the moment. Hopefully we'll see an Amiga version, maybe a Neo Geo version, after the Mega Drive version is complete. Oh, forgot about the chandelier. I swear that shotgun sprite looks just like the Doom shotgun. If I have infinite ammo. Yeah, could be wrong. I believe the original game didn't have proper parallax anywhere. So this parallax here was added just because the Mega Drive can support parallax. Whoa. Flubber was asking if this was started as an Amiga project. No, this developer does all of their projects as Mega Drive first. Oh, is that my last life? Alright, well that was Splatterhouse by Monster House Games. It's still a work in progress. So that was something of a sneak peek. Next we're gonna stay on the theme of spooky games. We're gonna play Castlevania AGA by Dante Mendes. And this one is a released demo. I believe it's still I believe it's still under development. But this is the latest CD32 version, so the latest version that has CD music. Always confuses me that the hearts are not actually health, they are the ammo. I love all of the tutorial helpers know the controls, yeah, let you know the controls and just what you can and can't do. Flibble is asking if there's a static sprite background. Some parts of the game do have big AGA sprites. I actually thought this part did, but maybe just for either performance reasons or memory reasons, they they didn't have it in these windows. I thought these windows did have parallax sprite at one stage, but maybe they've been removed. That looks really nice, the intermission screen. I think this one might also have keyboard controls, because I've been playing it with ZNX on the keyboard, which I don't think I've got mapped on WinUAE. Oh, now this one, you see there is parallax in the windows. It's quite a cool effect, especially since you can, you know, it's very subtle. It's not, like if that was basically static out there, I don't think anyone really would have minded, but, you know, really attention to detail having that parallax through the windows there. yeah, so just so we've got turkey dinners there. I guess that's thematically appropriate with this weekend being Thanksgiving weekend in the States. Medusa heads were notorious in the original for just being really difficult. Whoa, that was not oh, so close. How can I attack? Okay, so I would have been out of lives by now. No, do I activate an infinite life speed or something? I don't know. Oh, just gonna change controls. I think the keyboard controls don't seem to be working consistently. Okay. Yeah, for some reason during that level it seemed like the attack key would get stuck. So I'd need to revert to using the CD32 controls. Whoops. And so it looked like I had infinite lives on that level, but I guess I don't anymore. Whoops. Messed that one up. Oh, that was weird. Very double jumping out of the screen. Now this is a, hopefully I don't die at this bit again. So this is a level that shows off parallax capability. So we've got, so yeah, here on the AGA we've got two layers of AGA sprites. So we've got the far castle, and then we've got the nearer the bushes, and they both scroll independently. And so those are actually made out of 4-color sprites, but because we can see a lot more than 4 colors because using 24-bit copper skies. So there's only 4 colors on each scan line for those backgrounds. But because those 4 colors keep changing, it looks like, well, yeah, the sprites have a lot more than 4 colors in total. Yeah, so I guess I don't die if I go down. Oh yeah, so it feels like the attack key gets stuck sometimes on the keyboard, but then if I hit the controller fire. Okay, so now I've got a continue screen. Yeah, so I didn't get this when I died a whole bunch of times fighting the Medusa, but I'm getting it now. But I will leave that for today. That is Castlevania AGA by Dante Mendes. Well, I didn't really have anything planned for the workshop side other than I'm going to continue on with Halo Zero. I think it probably makes sense to add some enemies in. Oh yeah, something I realized about the so the looking up and down is just the pixel rotation. So we can probably just ourselves rotate, because there's no sprite rips that have every frame of looking up and down and shooting. So for example, like this one's the best one because it has frames of about every gun in the entire game, but it doesn't have like the shooting frames, so we can just take that and we can rotate it ourselves. Just the only thing is when we rotate it up, we have to add the belly bit, which is normally covered up. I don't think we need to cover anything up when we're rotating downwards. But we, I don't know if we'll worry about aiming up and down. Whoops. I don't know if we'll worry about aiming up and down today. We just want to get our basic enemies in. Well, we'll get our elite in. Get the elite in to start with. Depending how we go for time, we might look at the grunt. But I guess the main agenda for today is I want to get this guy in. I want to get him shooting, and then see if we can get him being killed. Actually, is that guy in the I'm gonna go to GitHub. Start from github.com. That's resources. That's what we want. Covenant. Elite rifle. That one. Okay, so that one. I'll use this one because it looks to be grid aligned. So since it's a grid aligned, it'll be a little bit easier to work with. Though I still need to adjust it a bit. The person that created this Halo project is the same person who did RoboCop. I don't know. Oh, so it's Flib will ask that. I'm not sure specifically what version of RoboCop you were meaning, but as far as I know, the person that did that created Halo Zero didn't create any well, hasn't created any other games that, or hasn't created any RoboCop games that I know of. Let's try 150. I put that to 125. Is that no, not? Okay, I need to make it fit to a multiple of 25. So let's go 150 by 150, and let's change the canvas as well. We want say 150 times 5, 750. 6. Okay, so if I go canvas size, let's go 900 by 750. Okay, I also need to just trying to think, how am I going to align this? I probably just align it so that it's oops. Ah. Actually, what is the 127? Maybe it's meant to be 128. No, okay, so the original grid size is 127 high. So 750. So let's grab. Okay, I need to go snap to grid. Okay, hopefully this won't take too long. I know it's not terribly interesting, just aligning things to grids. Wait, what did I do there? What did I get wrong? Ah, no. Okay, I should have done it that way. Instead of dragging everything, I should have done it one at a time. Sorry, I just got a spammer to deal with. Right. Wait a minute. No, I keep messing this up. Let's go 750. Okay, so this is meant to be in line with the bottom, just like that. Okay, so that's good now. That's good. That's good. Okay, so that is that's vertically aligned. Now I just need to get it horizontally aligned. So I need to do something similar. I need to work out what is the exact cell size for horizontal. Actually, if I 122, no, it's more than that. 5, it's more than that. Maybe it's squares. Okay, maybe it's a 127 by 127 square. Not quite. It's a little more than that. I wish I hadn't used a inconsistent grid size here, but just going to do a quick measurement. I think that's about right. It might be 1 pixel out. So it's 7, 6. Yeah, it needs to be one more, I think. So 130. Yep, okay, I think that's better aligned now. That's 8. And what was that, 8? Yep, okay. Alright, so that will do. So I need to need to do exactly what I did before, but just horizontally. This won't take too long. And then I can upscale down. Well, I'm going to need to upscale it, and then I can downscale it. Uh, 150. Okay, I think that's good. Let's adjust the grid size. 150 by 150. Let's fill in the gaps. Okay, well, I will store that on my resources folder. So I've got a clean copy, so just in case I mess this up and I need to do it again, so just a little elite rifle. I need to go back to my, what's it called? Go to X online. I'm just trying to remember where I should have bookmarked it in Firefox. Not that one. Go to X. Here we go. This is the one that I wanted. Right. So if I grab that and then, so just a reminder, the reason why we're doing this is because when we scale up with when we scale up using this algorithm, it sort of smooths out the edges so that when we scale it down again, we don't lose as many details. We are going to lose some details. That is unavoidable. But with any port, you just have to do the best you can to fit the strengths and weaknesses of the target platform. I'll call this elite rifle import. All right, now just need to work out what the target resolution should be. So I had this ratio of 50 to 32. So divide by 50 times 32. So 576. 576 by what? .576 by 480. What? Ah. Okay, no, I messed up here. I scaled up the wrong version of the image. I should have noticed that because it didn't have the right background. There we go. That's the one I want. I'll just paste that as a. There we go. Okay. So I resize that to 576 by 480. Let's do that pixel resize. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, so it's a little bit messy, but it's not too bad. It will do for the project. So let's save that resources, and I'm going to call this over right that one. I was supposed to get rid of the magic purple. I don't want contiguous. Okay. Flibble says that you're not worried that by using these automatic tools, the more colors you add, the more of a mush you'll get. I mean, I just got to work. I just got to do with what I can. The original game, of course, was designed for Windows PC running this century with a certain resolution, certain number of colors. I just have to do what I can to to get it ported, and then yeah, if there's some degradation of quality, I just have to live with that. Maybe someday an artist will come on board that can sort of manually clean up these pixels, but I'm just doing what I can as a non-artist programmer. Okay, so let's do an import the sprite sheet. So that is 6 by 5. 6 columns, 5 rows. Now I don't like generic animations. Oh, except, so this sprite sheet, they're all left facing. So I just need to keep that in mind. It doesn't really matter because I've got the auto flip flag, so it doesn't matter which way they're imported. I can flip them whatever way I want. Now I'll just check 3171. May need to tweak the position a bit. And I should have made a copy of the marine actually. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to overwrite that actor with this, and so I can just swap these animations over. I mean, that Flibble says, if this is purely how to demo, I thought you wanted to make this a proper project. I mean, this is a proper project. I mean, yeah, it's a proper project within the constraints of what we can realistically do within, target platforms. If it's not, 100% perfect, pixels, graphics, sprites, it's just what I can do, and then maybe if maybe in future an artist can help out with just making a little bit more a little bit more smoother, visually appealing. Okay, let's get rid of a lot of empty frames there, so let's get rid of all of those. Okay, the ones that end with one of the run animations. One frame's that one. We don't need that frame anymore. Now I'm going to need to adjust that center a little bit, I think. Okay, yeah, I'll try to work out where the center should be. So I've got this frame, which, what do we scale it down to? Be 96 by 96. Whoops. Let's work out where the dead center of that should be. 29 and... Okay, so it should be line to 60 apparently. Hopefully that will be close enough. Is that okay? Let's move that a little bit. Let's try moving it that way. See, what if I move it way back there? Okay, so this wasn't centered to begin with, so that is going to cause a problem with my alignment. So negative 10, 20, that is centered now. I'll put it back how I thought it was meant to be at 60. Oh yeah, so that's perfectly aligned now, so the eye is at the very edge of the collision box. So I can adjust that collision box as I need to, but that is centered, properly centered now. So let's add one to a map. Add that right there. I'm going to add my player right there. I'll get rid of the other spawner and the marine. Okay, so we've got our covenant. Now it's not supposed to be following the player like that, but that's just because of the marine AI. So just going to adjust the I'm going to adjust the Z order here. Make that positive 50, and then I'm going to make this 150 because the legs have to be in front of the Master Chief. But the Master Chief should be in front of everything else. So we had this weird issue where half of the Master Chief would be behind the Covenant. Okay, so we've got that one following us. Might increase the look ahead distance. So by that I mean how far in front of you can see. The original game didn't really have a look ahead. Let's double that. But because smaller resolution, smaller aspect ratio, will make it so that we can look further ahead of the player. And I guess it's a little bit more consistent with, first-person shooter where you can only really see ahead of you. There we go. And so what that means is we can sort of have like more distance between the player and the where we're aiming at, so we can have battles over longer distances. I might put that up to 80, and that's probably about as far as I can make it stretch. And then I'll have to see if I can actually make yeah, that looks pretty good. That's Flowell says don't want to get jumped from behind. I don't think there's actually that many. Maybe there are ambushes in the original game. I'm not sure, but yeah, we could have some ambushes, and so you need to keep looking left and right. Okay, well, I might get rid of that marine AI from the elite. I'll just check that it's standing idle now, and then I'll work on being able to shoot it. Okay. I need to have it not move by default. So let's create a spawn spawn enemy. Let's get rid of God, so much Crap in Visual Studio Code. Alright, so if I go actor selector, the direction, this one, actor direction, we just want to stop. See, what way have we got the Master Chief looking by default? We should have that start that as looking right by default. Oh. Okay, so the reason why it started moving is because this actor is meant to move by default. But we when it recycles, it's not running that code again. So let's do an on spawn after recycle. We can add some code to check if this is the first time that actor is spawned, and so we can run different code for whether it's just come into view or it's spawned multiple times. But yeah, so that is working as expected. We've got a covenant there that recycles. We might want to make it so that the recycle distance on this game is really long, so it's not until you've moved quite a fair distance from the enemy that they are no longer updating. But in any case, so we've got that. We need to add some hit scan code, and so this is something I've thought about a little bit, is how do we make it so that because the Master Chief's guns are mostly hit scanners, which means they don't have a projectile. They basically move at infinite speed and then hit whatever they're aiming at. Flibble says, how do you stop that ugly camera scroll at the start? I mean, I guess you just need to have logic set to wherever you want the camera position. I haven't really spent any time on setting it, but the camera system is a little bit more complicated in this because we've got the the look ahead. So I would need to have something that just says, okay, we'll snap to the player position plus X number of pixels in this direction, which I'll get to at some stage. But first things first, we want to make some code for doing that hit scan, which means we're going to need to run code on like every time we fire a projectile, we need to do a check against everything that could be between that could be in the range of in the direction of the bullet. We might make an exception to say, well, if it's the Marine, then don't do anything. We don't allow friendly fire. We may make that an option where you can hit the Marine, but for now we're just going to do I'm going to call this, I need to do two functions. One is the setup function and then one is the for each. So I'm going to call this one just, I'll just call this raycast to begin with. Raycast or hit scan? No, hit scan would make more sense. So let's call it hit scan. And then I'm going to have, I need to declare some variables. So variable word has hit. Actually, I just need best distance. And then, so I only need to hit the closest one. So, yeah, because if there's multiple enemies, I only need to hit the one in front. I'll have to test with multiple enemies to make sure that I'm only hitting one at a time. So I'll do that. Actually, let's space them out a bit more. Say there and then there. And I need to test that I am only hitting the one at the front. Yes, I need to set that to 0. Also need to, I should put the extension on there, hit scan 2. So we've got the, now we have some of that syntax highlighting. We're going to say set best distance is 999. So we're setting that to a ridiculously long distance because yeah, anything we can hit is going to be closer than that. And then I want it for each actor. Actually, I should set the label. Now, it's fortunate that none of the enemies are hit scanners, so none of the enemies need to have logic where they can hit us. All of their guns are projectile guns, so that makes it much more simple. I am going to change that tag to enemy, and so I can go for each actor tag equals enemy go to, and then I'll have one called hit scan loop. I'm just going to cheat to begin with. This is just going to destroy. I expect this is just going to destroy every enemy that I can see. In fact, while I'm here, I'm going to make it so that the recycle distance is much further. So that's the distance where enemies are spawned and active. So if I go spawn area width plus 128, set spawn area width plus 128. So that expands the size of the area that enemies are spawned in, but I also need to adjust the X. So I'll go spawn area X minus 64. So that moves at 64 pixels. That moves the window of where things can get spawned 64 pixels to the left. And by making it that much wider, that means things get spawned in quicker. Although the alternative, what I might do instead, is if I go set recycle distance equals 128. So that basically means that things get spawned when you're very close to them, still, because I've taken that out. But the recycle distance, it basically means that things don't get set to recycle mode until you're quite a long distance from them. In fact, I make it 256. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to run this. I haven't really got any logic on it, so I just expect everything. So I will fire, and then everything will be destroyed. Oh. Okay, so yeah, some performance issues there, which maybe isn't too surprising considering we've got several full screen things on screen. I'll just increase the well, add some fast RAM. It shouldn't be shaking like that when there's a frame skip. I might need to investigate why that is. I think there might be a bug in the experimental version where it is where the where it's not waiting for the end of the frame to redraw things, and so we're getting that frame skip there. Okay, so I didn't hook up that hit scan code, so I'll need to do that. Where's Master Chief Tech delay? Yep. Okay, so that just tests that that it kills everything that it hits. So what we're doing here is we need to make sure that we are shooting in the well, that we can only hit things in front of us, so we need to set the origin point of our hit scan and our direction. So X facing will do. And we can add some logic in here, so we can go if hit scan. What's the variable? Oh, HS. HS direction is greater than 0. There we go. This is right facing. It's less than HS origin. Turn. This will be left facing. Okay, I'll quickly give that a check. So that's basically just to make sure that if we're facing away from the enemy, we don't kill them. So let's just check that. Yep, okay, so that works as expected. If I go over here, I'm only hitting that one. So that's basically as expected, except I shouldn't be killing both of them. I should still be only hitting the one that's closest. Now I'm going to take that variable out and put that in my startup. I'm going to use this delta x several places. So delta x, I'm going to measure the distance. So I'm going to go if delta x is so delta x will be. Actually, I've got an absolute command, so I can go absolute delta x. Well, I need to set delta x equals actor x minus hs origin, and then I can go if delta x is less than, if delta x is less than best hs best distance, then set hs best distance equals delta x. So what we're just doing here is remembering, finding out which of these actors is the closest one to the origin point. But we also need to remember which of these actors was the closest one, not just what the distance was. So I can use set actor as new. So what that will do is that will set the new actor to this one. So we're tracking both the distance as well as which actor specifically. Flipper says, why does if active collision not work here? Is because you are not using projectiles. Yeah, that's it. I mean, we're doing a hit scan which has infinite speed. It's not something that I mean, you can fake it with a projectile that, you know, maybe it takes several frames. Or I also thought about using multiple melee attacks to try to work out which one is the best. But I think this is also a good demo of how you would do hit scanners if you were to, you know, make a game like this, or like a 2D version of Doom sort of thing, where you need to have a bullet immediately hit the enemy on the same frame, no matter how far they are away. Okay, so then if I go if HS best distance less, we hit something, and just go new type none. So that's just a yeah, just a really rough so in theory it should only hit the closest one each time we run this, and then it's going to set the closest one to none, destroyed. Yep, there we go. That works. That all works as expected. I guess we should. Let's put the kill animation in. So why not? No, I'm going to change the Master Chief to sprites. Think I don't think the actually maybe just too many sprite channels. So just see what that's like. If there's too many sprite channels, I could look at making this a AGA project, or I make the sprite only an AGA thing. Yeah, okay, so that's okay, so just too many sprite channels with both the guns and the legs. In fact, why don't I just... No reason why I can't make the legs I'll switch the legs back to normal. Flipper says so elite dangerous next week. You know, it might be fun to do some kind of flight simulator. Yeah, well, I think there's two things I want to add before wrapping up the stream. I'll add some health, and I will add the death animation for the elite. Actually, I'm just going to check my how am I going memory wise? Yeah, I'm actually wondering about so I'd sort of started this with like OCS compatibility in mind, but if I go to AGA, that gives me a lot more flexibility with uh, what I can do with the colors. Flowell says that the sprite's going to make it hard to have actors pass through the background scenery. I actually thought about that. And yes and no. So it's fortunate that there's not too many foreground elements in in the map, but the ones that are generally pretty thin. So this is a foreground element, so we can do that we can change that to a sprite, or we could just get rid of that even if it comes to it. Yeah. There's also fences here, which are technically in the foreground, but I can make them background fences. Yeah, there's just so many things that need to be balanced. Okay, so there should be 3 death frames. And let's delete that frame. We'll make that last one infinite. Oh, in fact, let's not make them infinite. Let's make it like 100. So that's about 2 seconds, and then I'm just going to go destroy, because we don't want these. Unfortunately, we can't afford to have these dead bodies just permanently littering the game. Oh, now that should have been not die R, it should have been die L. Now, if I go to Marine, sorry, Elite, I'm going to use. I'll use VAR1 for health, and I'll just say it takes 5 shots. I don't know exactly how many shots it should be. I might need to play the original game a bit to try and gauge how much health they have, if there's any randomness in the health, anything like that. But I am going to use VAR1 as the health. And actually, going back to this, we want to turn off prevent move, prevent collision, prevent attack, because they can't prevent jump, because they can't do any of this while they've been killed. Actually, if I go in new new var1 new var1 -1, so that way we're just tracking that we're subtracting 1 health from that. But I'll add a proper handler for the enemy, and then I'll go if actor var1 is less than 0. Killed. We're gonna play. So I'm just going to make a quick tweak to this logic. Instead of destroying it there, so what I will do is I will yield. Oh. Flibble says need a generic fizzle effects. Yep, agreed. I think there actually is a spark when you hit an enemy that sort of has a bit of a random offset, so it looks like there's a bit of aiming inaccuracy. I'm not sure where that is in the original art. If it's been ripped already, I'll have to try and find that, but I can come back to that in a week or two. Actor type none. Animation, and that should be. Actually, I'll edit it in here just so I don't want loop. I do want auto flip, and the one that I want is. I'll have to add some logic in here at some stage so that we can reuse this code for the different enemy types. Oh, I didn't hook up the handler. That's something I always forget to do. No, still not doing anything. I need to work out why that is. Oh, I've got camera interpolator on. That might be why. That might be why it was glitching a little bit with the frame rate skip. Yeah, now that looks a little bit better. So it is frame skipping still a bit, but it is not glitching like it was. Okay, but we're still not our actor still is not being killed for some reason. So active R1. Gotta check for. Oh, needs to be set. Okay, so there's a couple of things here. One is let's reduce that to 3. I think I might need to make it so that the firing animation it runs much more often. But that's one thing. The other thing is the enemies that are dead are still blocking the hit scanner. So I'll need to change. I need to go back to our hit scan code, scan loop. So I'm just going to go is dead. So I should make that less than or equal to 0. So we'll make it 0 health is killed. And then I go if actor var1 is less than or equal to 0. Go return. We don't need to do anything there. Yep. Okay. Well, that I'm wondering if we should have this blinking when we get to here. So if I copy that frame, this probably should say duplicate rather than copy, because copy implies like copy to the clipboard. And I'll add a just add a simple code block called blink, and all that is going to do is change the render mode to blinking. So that way it doesn't just sort of disappear straight away, it blinks for a little bit before it disappears. And of course I can adjust this time so that make it half a second, so it's half a second there before it starts to fade out. Okay, well, I think that's reasonable progress for today. I don't know if I'll work on this for the workshop next week. If I do, then I'll obviously want to start working on AI for the enemy so that we can, actually have some gameplay, have some combat going. Welcome, Mixel. Thanks for coming by the stream. I always do a raid, so let's see who we can raid. Who am I following? That is on right now. Yeah, I might send everyone to Dalidus again. Looks like it's playing Settlers again, so that'll be cool to see. Well, thanks everyone for joining this stream, and I hope to see you all next time.